Well, none of them can hide from the truth, yeah. Children have to go back to the roots, yeah. None of them can hide from the truth, yeah. Children have to go back to the roots. I'm telling you now, the truth, the truth. Telling you, yeah, the truth, the truth. You have to go back to the roots, the roots. Go to the roots, to the roots. Yeah, man, you know, this is Benjamin out of the Smiling Coast, West Africa, Gambia, representing for the one and only Abu, the big man you don't know, the Soninke warrior, the man that brings the truth, Soninke warrior, the sign of enlightenment, the Soninke warrior, the righteous and the true African. Abu, reveal the truth to them, you know, no matter how them try to run from it, because none of them can hide from the truth, yeah. Yes, we have to dig back the roots, yeah. Fire!
Subscribe now.
I remember the days, all those years ago that never fade away. And I remember your face when you hit the ground. I can recall the time and place on a midnight walk through the old streets, trying to turn back the clock to the days of old, back to the days when all the things we knew were made of gold. As the world moves on, time sings a song. In the old neighborhood, as the clock strikes one, the memory lives just as it stood, like a quiet dream. The shadows of that time are cast beneath the streetlight beam as the world moves on.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Afridamus Report. I'm your host, Afridamus. Please make sure you hit the like if you haven't already done so. I want to welcome all of you to, today we are traveling all the way to Africa, French Africa. And when I say French Africa, these are like the former colonies of the French. So I'm going to be talking about the former president, former leader of DRC Congo, Joseph Kabila. We're going to talk about the coup in Madagascar, and we're going to talk about the election in Cameroon. So just to try to bring you up to speed on, some of the chaos that you are seeing, this is the best place to get the information where I break it down, I break it down to a simple term for people to understand. And, for people who are not too familiar with Madagascar, let's say, American person watching, it's not just a movie, it's actually a place. It's an island off the coast of Africa. It's the third largest island in the world. And I think all of us are going to learn something pretty cool today. And especially if you look at the makeup of Madagascar, that also, kind of confuses some, whether they are Africans or not, but the island is considered African. And with the coup that took place, the AU is putting sanction on them, just like they were doing with the Sahel, because all of these countries, Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, Ivory Coast, there is issues in Ivory Coast as well. Their president is running for the fourth term, even though their constitution doesn't allow that. So, chaos is erupting over there as well. But let's go first to Madagascar. What is going on in Madagascar? I know you want to know, I want to know. So I don't want to keep you waiting. We would go straight to Madagascar to find out why Madagascar, because everything we hear about Madagascar is the movie, right? It's like peaceful, you know, some of you will be probably shocked that they have a military culture there. Well, the French, for whatever reason, looks like all their former territories are now going military style. That's right. And it starts making you wonder. You start thinking, is democracy viable for Africa? I mean, I'm beginning to think more and more soldiers are like looking at it like, look, man, we're bringing in these civilians. We've got these bureaucrats that are sitting in offices, taking direction straight from their masters in Paris. They are doing the biddings of their master. And next thing you know, they are like, oh, we have elections and such person won. I mean, take Cameroon, for example. Paul Biya, their president, he is the oldest president on earth right now. The man is 92 years old. I mean, let's be real. Do you guys believe that man just kept winning elections nonstop? So this type of behavior, this is being seen more and more in French quarters. And the English colonies did go through this in the past, 80s, 90s, the chaos where, there was coup upon coup. Nigeria was the coup capital. You got Ghana. It happened in Sierra Leone, Liberia, even Gambia. So all the English-speaking countries did that transition. And I'm beginning to see maybe this is like the cleansing of it. Because the population in Africa, in these countries, they think they are voting for people that are going to be representing them. But we've seen, for example, in the case of Niger, where the former president Bazoum, even when he was ousted by coup and he was put in house arrest, which I believe he's still in, they intercepted communications. He was still communicating with the French, trying to get them to bring him back on. Clearly he was working for the French instead of his own people. So that coup succeeded. Those people are still there. So Madagascar's case is it's kind of like a Burkina Faso type thing. So, like Ibrahim Traore, he removed, another soldier who came by coup, Damiba, and somehow Damiba wasn't doing what he was supposed to. So they removed him. So it's the same case here in Madagascar. So apparently the former president also, he was in the military. He came to power through coup. So now he's removed. So let me take you straight to Madagascar. Like the stream if you haven't already done so, because that's what helps us spread into the algorithm so we can invite other people to come join us. So here we go. Let's see what's going on in Madagascar. This is for fair use. Okay.
Now, in other news, Madagascar's new leader, Colonel Michael Randrianirina, is being sworn in by the High Court this morning. Following 3 weeks of deadly anti-government protests, the armed forces took control this week after President Ange Randrianirina was ousted and fled the island. We can cross now to our correspondent, Gael Borja. Thanks for joining us, Gael. So, are we going to get any more clarity today on what kind of rule the army will have, and are we going to see any clues from this swearing in?
So, you can see, like, the Madagascans, they sort of look like, Asians, like Filipinos, but they are African. They're in Africa. So Just in case people that are coming in, they might be like, oh wait, Afridamos, why are you showing Philippines and saying is Africa or Vietnam? No, no, no. This is in Africa, Madagascar. So here we go.
For the moment, it's very uncertain. What we know is that Colonel Michael Randrianirina will be the president of the Council of the Refoundation of Madagascar, and he will be in charge of organizing the next election. But it's going to be a difficult task because he has to recreate a new electoral commission, independent commission, because this organ was accused of being biased and in favor of former President Andry Rajoelina. So the population doesn't trust the electoral organs. So he's going to have the task of refounding everything to create a new government. He's going to have to nominate a prime minister, and this person will have to be accepted by everyone. So now it's a time of consultations with all vital forces of the nation.
Yeah, and imagine the army being in charge of what happens next was not quite what most of the protesters had in mind. Could there be even...
So this coup came off of a protest. So they were saying, oh, the Gen Z, it's funny how they try to popularize to say, oh, the Gen Z, young people. So these young people who are like, I guess, early 20s, they've done it like in Kenya, where people went out there to protest. Now, they did the same thing, but these people, what they don't realize is these young people are just coming up. The problems that they find in these nations, have always been there. They found people who are older than them that have always been dealing with these issues. So clearly they are just used as foot soldiers. They come, young people, clearly, as you can see, none of them are able to take these offices. So they go out there in the street, they protest to pave the way for the military. Because if you look at it, for example, in Madagascar, this guy, the president now, the new guy that did the coup, he have always been an outspoken critic of the former president, and he was even put in jail by him. So imagine, today we're going to talk about a lot of people, former president who people have put, the people they've put in jail are now going to replace them. So, African politics is wild, but the United States too also looked like it, because, they were trying to lock Trump up. When I don't know how Biden got in, but hey, that's to be looked at. But anytime you see, like from experience, what I know is when the guy comes in not through legitimate ways, they always want to eliminate their number one opponent. It doesn't happen in a fair transition of power in a democracy. But whenever you see that, just know the person that's in charge illegitimately acquired that power from that individual. So same thing here. So, but the president, he fled the country. So let us hear a little bit more, then we'll go to our next story.
More unrest to come.
The thing is, the protesters called for the army to help them. They were saying during the protest, we are repressed by the gendarmerie. We need the army to help us. So now the army is seen as a hero because they escorted the protesters freely and they let them express themselves freely. So it's been a week that protesters have been gathering on the 13th May.
So when you hear gendarme, it's a branch, it's a paramilitary force of, when you go to French-speaking countries in Africa, it's a French branch of military like sort of like a military police force. So wherever these gendarmes are, they are usually more ruthless than the police, because they are like the riot, force. Like when there are riots, they come out and they would crush it. So these protesters were out there, young people protesting, complaining. Apparently, the other president could not even provide stable water system for the people. And depriving people of water, that's the fastest way to get yourself, kicked out. So, clearly, so they were like, hey, military, can you please come and save us from the gendarme? Little did they know, the army were laying low, waiting for that opportunity. So let's see what happened.
Where they are chanting, they express themselves freely. So there's a kind of it's a liberation time at the moment, but they are not naive. They are looking at what the army is doing, and they want to make sure, the Gen Z movement wants to make sure that they follow their demands, that their demands are heard and respected. So that's going to be the challenge of the new president of Madagascar.
Very interesting, Gaia. Thank you for helping us understand that a little bit more. We'll be in touch with you again later.
All right, you've seen and heard that. Yeah, that's what's going on in Madagascar, as you can clearly see. Now, let's go to our next story. So our next story is about Cameroon. I'm sure most of you have heard about Cameroon, but maybe you didn't know that Cameroon has the oldest president, in the world. I mean, literally in the whole world. So the man has been in power for years, and no one has ever challenged him. All his opponents, literally are put away. So we will go straight to Cameroon here, and I'll show you. Like the president of Cameroon, he appeared in public, for the first time. Well, let's see, give a little background about, their president here, Paul Biya. Paul Biya is 92 years old, and somehow Paul Biya is like, I mean, at this point, who is even running Cameroon? I mean, guys, let's be real. If your president only, it's like comes to your country, maybe once or twice a year or so. So he lives in Europe, I believe Switzerland or France. And for whatever reason, Macron loves him. What does that tell you? That means that France, is still running Cameroon without any pushback. So clearly their president is not, their president, Paul Biya, there's no way he knows what is going on. There's no way. So they said the celebrities in Cameroon, they're popular people. All these people have sold out the Cameroonian masses because they continue to support Paul Biya. But this time around, the people are like, enough is enough. Mr. Biya have to go. So let me show you who Paul Biya is. Here we go. And watch how Paul Biya even walks. And that's his wife. So that's his wife here. Do you guys think this wife want to relinquish power? Hell no. They're the ones pushing Paul Biya to continue this nonsense in Cameroon. So here we go.
A win in Cameroon's presidential election on
Do you see how Paul Biya is walking? I mean, he's got that 102-year-old walk. It's like the guy's like a newborn baby learning how to walk. So, and this is even last year.
Sunday could keep incumbent Paul Biya in office until he is nearly 100, but he is seeking to overcome frustration.
Wait, is Paul Biya's, is she white or black? Like, can you guys help me? I mean, what are we dealing with? So this is Xi Jinping and Mrs. Jinping, Mr. Biya and Mrs. Biya. So, I mean, help me in the chat. Is Mrs. Biya, is she black? I'm not sure here. Help me. So here we go.
With his decades-long rule and a spirited challenge from a former government mouthpiece. Biya won power in 1982 and has comfortably held office since, doing away with the presidential term limit in 2008.
Oh, okay. Mrs. Biya is half white. I knew it. See, guys, Paul Biya, he's a good man. See, he loves living in Europe. He loves being around white people. So he decided, he's a good man. He decided that, hey, why don't I do it half and half? Let me get me a mulatto. So for those of you that are going to come here and try to say, oh, look at him, he's a sellout, he ran to the white people. No. She's mixed. So she black, according to the rules. So let's see a little bit of Paul.
Government has denied claims of ballot stuffing and manipulating the courts to sideline opponents. 92-year-old Biya rarely appears in public, with consistent speculation he is in poor health. The government last year banned public discussion of the topic. Maurice Kamto, Biya's top.
So think about this, right? Paul Biya, he banned the people, like literally, that's him. They're like, oh man, you can't talk about Paul Biya being not healthy. Talk about you hiding stuff without saying it. So Paul Biya, he was over there, like he's been, oppressing the people of Cameroon, and they're like, hey, we've heard enough. Enough is enough, and yeah, now they are challenging him.
Challenger in 2018 has been disqualified this election. The remaining contenders have failed to rally around a unity candidate, boosting the president's victory chances. Issa Chiruma Bakary, a former employment minister who announced he was defecting, is the challenger drawing the biggest crowds. He has accused Biya of mismanaging Cameroon's resource wealth, leaving it dependent on international financial institutions.
Meaning France is running Cameroon. Cameroon has lots of resources. Cameroon is resource-rich country. But, is Cameroon in charge of it? You see that they're playing. And you know what? The thing about Paul Biya, he's like the comeback kid. If you're familiar with Cameroon, who knows Roger Milla? Roger Milla was a football player, like we call it soccer here in America. He appeared in the World Cup. His first appearance, I believe Roger Milla was 42 years old. He was the oldest guy that, I think he scored like 5 goals in the World Cup. So Roger Milla was in retirement at the time. So Paul Biya was like, let us, that was his idea. He went and brought Roger Milla from retirement. And man, Roger Milla at 42 going on, he carried Cameroon on his back. This man was just like scoring goals non-stop in the World Cup against 19-year-olds, 18-year-olds. He was giving them that work. So, knowing that Paul Biya believes in comeback, now he's 92. Who knows? Maybe 5-10 years from now, the man could be around like what, 102 or maybe 112 years old. Cameroon can see maybe they made a mistake to try to get rid of this good man and go after him to make him the comeback kid. Maybe at the time he would be 112 years old. So anything is possible. This is Cameroon. Don't put anything past them. So here we go.
Biya has acknowledged complaints about basic services like roads and electricity in the cocoa and oil producing country. Voters have noticed a deterioration.
Since 2018, in the past 7 years, what has changed are the roads, which have become even more isolated. The city isn't progressing. To reach the west, it takes 7, 8, even 10 hours to get there. For me, things have only gotten worse. Nothing has changed. Nothing has changed.
Rien n'a changé. We need roads, we need good hospitals, we need portable water supplies. There are a lot of things that we need in our country. There is so much changes that we need right now. A lot.
Analysts believe Chiruma might perform well in cities, but would struggle in rural areas where the ruling party has a strong turnout. This catfish farmer is hopeful for a fair election.
So I'm really hoping that we get to see a change where these institutions stand individually without influence to give room for democracy, hopefully, or an idea, at least we can have an idea of what democracy looks like in this country.
12 candidates are running in the election, and Cameroon does not hold runoffs, meaning the top voter getter on Sunday wins.
All right.
A win in
So you guys seen, you've seen and heard that. But let me show you this one clip of, because, Paul Biya, for whatever reason, he doesn't do, public appearances. So, in a rare occasion, Paul Biya this year, decided to appear in public. I mean, like, Paul Biya, he's like, how do I put it? Like, the guy's like an angel, he doesn't appear. He just appear every now and again. So let us see, because this could be, maybe we wouldn't see Paul Biya in public, for a long time when he turned 112, when they decide to bring him back again. So let's take a look at his appearance in public for his campaign, by the way. Okay.
And let's shift focus now to Cameroon, where President Paul Biya made a rare public appearance. The 92-year-old held a campaign rally ahead of the upcoming October 12th election. He is seeking his 8th term in office after spending 43 years in power. Addressing a gathering...
Yeah, 8th term in office. He's been in power for 43 years. I mean, are Cameroonians, are they sleeping? All they're doing over there, they complain, oh, we don't have good roads. They wouldn't remove Paul Biya. But it looks like this time around, he might leave. I mean, the man left a while. He lives in Switzerland, I think. So, in rare occasion, he decided to come and campaign in Cameroon. So here we go.
In the country's far north, Biya promised to curb unemployment and to improve infrastructure. He also spoke about increasing efforts to empower and educate the Cameroonian women.
My goal, my fellow citizens, is for every young person.
That's Paul Biya. He is giving campaign speech. I mean, you gotta give it to the man. Like, yes, we get it. His voice is old, but the man is 92. What do you expect? So, but he's talking.
Wherever they may be, to have opportunities that enable them to easily find a job or become an entrepreneur. We must intensify our...
Does Paul Biya even talk to the people in, their languages there, the Bamaleke and, like the local languages? Because every time I see Paul Biya, he only talking in French. Okay? So, I'm not sure. I mean, if that's the only language he knows, but I would think he should know more. But I always see him speak in French.
Our efforts in the areas of education and empowerment for women. We need more women at all levels of responsibility.
Biya's latest public appearance followed his recent trip to Switzerland, the reason for which is not known. The president has been in and...
Ma'am, because He lives over there. Hello? Do we need to spell this out for you? I would have thought you guys would do your homework. Yeah, that's the wife over here. You can tell she don't stay in Cameroon that much. She doesn't. She lives in Switzerland. She even have like that, the rich old time white people hair, like in Europe, the Victorian type hair, like when you watch some of those old time, photos of the rich royal people in Europe. Yeah, she did her hair like that. So these people are not even in the same universe with the Cameroonian people. Just FYI.
Out of public view quite a few times. Recently, reports of his disappearance and even his death made headlines in the country. Now, this followed his absence from the UN General Assembly last month. Now, he has started his election campaign in the far north town of Marua, a region that has been reeling under extremist attacks and kidnappings for ransom by outfits like the Boko Haram and the Islamic State West Africa Province, or Islam.
See, I knew they were going to find a way to connect something that has to do with Nigeria. Why they got to bring in Boko Haram? Because when they bring Boko Haram, it will be attached to Nigeria. But is Paul Biya even helping his neighbors to fight Boko Haram? Let's find out. Paul Biya don't care. He lives in Switzerland. Okay? That's where he lives. I mean, someone wrote, Paul Biya probably didn't run Cameroon in 20 years. I would say probably 30. Who knows? I mean, come on. I would go on a limb and say probably he didn't run the country for the last 30 years. I mean, Macron loves him. And if Macron loves an African leader that much, you need to be worried. So here we go.
Swap. Now, Biya vowed to step up the region's security during his speech. Cameroon's far north is an isolated region with infrastructure deficits. It struggles with poor road networks and restricted access to basic amenities. But it accounts for nearly 20% of Cameroon's 8.2 million eligible voters. And 2 out of 9 opposition candidates running for the top post.
So, Cameroon, over 8 million voters. So, it's not a small nation. They got a lot of people. It's a big country, right? So, they have the oppositions here. One of former Prime Minister Bello Buba Maigari and former Minister Issa Chiroma Bakari. So these are the opponents here. These two right here, the way they are dressed tells me that, Cameroon can count on them, not to move to Switzerland. That much we can tell by the way they are dressed. The farthest place they will probably move to is Kano in northern Nigeria. So here we go.
Have a strong following here. Biya may be eyeing to put an end to his opponent's dominance in the area. Now, Biya is the world's oldest head of state. He secured a landslide victory in the 2018 elections with over 71% of the votes.
So, did you guys catch that? Did you hear this? So, in the last election in 2018, he secured 71% of the vote. He won in a landslide. Wait, who was he running against? You see, like, what he does is anyone that's picking up steam like that, he would disqualify you. That's what's going on in Ivory Coast as we speak. We're going to talk about Ivory Coast as well. Like, Ouattara is running again for the fourth time. And their constitution says he can only run, this is the third time he shouldn't run. So the person, mind you, the person that was supposed to, quote unquote, replace him mysteriously just dies, from poison. I mean, I'm not very smart. Do you guys think, he did something? Do you guys think Ouattara have something to do with it? But Ouattara, his opponent, what's his name? Laurent Gbagbo. So you guys remember how they use the French military, they match, like remove Gbagbo out of power. So Gbagbo is trying to return to run, but he banned Gbagbo from running. So there's some chaos in Ivory Coast, but he's so entrenched, just like Paul Biya. They have so much power, there's no way to be able to fight them, militarily. So that's the issue they're having. So let's hear a little bit of this, then we go to, DRC.
But the Cameroonian opposition claimed that the election was marred by fraud and voter intimidation. Biya's tenure is marred by allegations of having a low tolerance for opposition. And what adds to the...
Charlie, you are onto something here. Charlie said it may not be right, but this guy should encourage us all to not give up. He's 92. Look, Charlie, Paul Biya is an inspiration. Right now, to me, seeing Paul Biya, I feel like I'm just starting out in life. There's plenty left. Okay, the man is kicking it all the way to 92 and he's still running, and he might win and end up being there till 112. So yes, he's an inspiration to all of us. To me, I'm just like, whoa, I'm just starting right now. If they put me in charge, I can do, next 50 years in power. So, there's plenty of room there for improvement. But I don't know if the people would go for it. It looks like they are tired of Paul Biya. And, Paul Biya, he is smart, guys. What's the best way to keep yourself from the people getting tired of you? They hardly see him. He hardly appears. He shows up once in a blue moon, once every 4 years. Yeah. So here we go.
These claims is a ban on Biya's strongest rival, Maurice Kamto, from the presidential race. He was ruled out as the party endorsing him floated another candidate, highlighting an internal friction. With this, Biya's chances for victory...
This was Paul Biya when he first came to power, when he was young. That's him.
...have gone up. If he wins, the world's oldest leader at 92...
See, Paul Biya have outlived a bunch of presidents. This was the former president, of Senegal. I think he was the second president after independence, after Leopold Senghor. He became the president. We're talking in the 80s. I mean, like, we're talking, I believe, in the 70s or 80s, right? This guy was the president, in Senegal. Paul Biya was still there. No, it's got to be the 80s. I think Paul Biya came in 1983. So this is in the 80s.
Would remain in office until he is nearly 100. He also removed a 2-term presidential limit.
Do you guys see? Paul Biya feels safer, and I've never seen Paul Biya smiling in Cameroon. But look at Paul Biya, the files are showing him amongst out, when he's in Europe, around the white people. That's where he feels safe.
Through a parliamentary vote in 2008 to stay in power. He is now Africa's second longest serving leader. But Biya's old age is increasingly becoming a cause of concern. His critics say that his capacity to govern has been affected by his age. He is rarely seen in public and regularly travels to Europe for private stays and medical treatment. Biya's age is not the only challenge he faces. Under his rule, Cameroon has struggled with high unemployment rates, chronic corruption, and security crises. At least 43% of the Cameroonians live in poverty. Now, these issues have plagued the country and have pushed the youth into resentment. Will Biya be able to fetch votes from the disgruntled youth to retain his power? Now, that remains to be seen.
All right. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. You've seen and heard that. That's right. That's Paul Biya over there in Cameroon. The people are hopeful that this time around, Paul Biya would actually lose. That's what they are hoping, will happen. So now we move on to our next story here. We're gonna go to Congo, the DRC. So the former Congolese leader Joseph Kabila have been sentenced to death in absentia. The military sentenced him to death in absentia. Let us get to that story and see, what's happening in DRC. So Joseph Kabila, his father, Laurent Kabila, was a Marxist guerrilla fighter who toppled the regime of Mobutu Sese Seko. Mobutu was another they called him a tyrant. Mobutu became, wealthy off of Congo. And I believe Mobutu was even he's amongst the people that took out Patrice Lumumba, because Mobutu was in the army. And he, I believe, was friends with Patrice Lumumba. But because Congo have always had these divisions, they used to have a complete different state called Katanga. I believe Katanga is still there. So what they did was, it's a CIA operation. They made it seem like the people of Katanga, the Katanga people, took out Lumumba, but we all know that's not the case. But Mobutu played a role in that. Long story short, Laurent Kabila he wants to free Congo. So what's his name? Rwanda, Paul Kagame, and Uganda, Museveni, they helped him topple Mobutu. They gave him fighters. He marched with them all the way to Kinshasa. So, but Laurent Kabila did not last long. Next thing you know, out of the blue, they took him out. Okay? They took him out. So his son at the time, I believe, he was like what? He was pretty young, I think like 20, in his early 20s. So he took charge. He's been in charge up until not that long ago. So now the president that is there, Tshisekedi wants him dead. He wants him dead. So let's hear. They sentenced him. So let us see if that would work.
The Democratic Republic of Congo's former president, Joseph Kabila, was sentenced to death in absentia on Tuesday by a military court. He was convicted of war crimes, treason, and crimes against humanity, and also ordered to pay around $50 billion in various damages to the state and victims. The case stems from his alleged role in supporting the advance of Rwanda-backed M23 rebels in Congo's volatile east.
So you hear that, right? So he's been sentenced to treason because he believes he's backing the M23, the Rwandan M23. Did you hear in the beginning how I mentioned that Kagame in Rwanda and Museveni in Uganda, a couple other people, but these are the well-known ones that helped, Laurent Kabila, who is Joseph Kabila's father. So clearly, it looks like the M23, now is like the private army of Joseph Kabila. And guys, this story is gonna take a completely different twist, because you see, this right here, is igniting a new war in the Congo, and you're about to see that. So here we go.
Rwanda, which has long denied helping M23, says its forces act in self-defense against Congo's army and ethnic Hutu militiamen linked to the 1994 Rwandan genocide. Kabila, who led Congo from 2001 to 2019, has denied wrongdoing and says the judiciary has been politicized.
So you guys see him here? He was pretty young when he took over. His father was killed, and they brought him in right away. I guess his father's bodyguard, took him out. People believe this is one of the bodyguard. This is the people that they believe that Rwanda and Uganda have a hand in him being taken out, because Kabila did not want to allow the Rwandese that are now in Eastern Congo to make Congo their home. He was just seeing them as fighters that were helping it. So people believe that played a role for him to be taken out. But it looks like his son allowed the play to take place in Eastern Congo, and now it's benefiting him, now that he's ousted from power.
He was not present for the trial and was also unrepresented by legal counsel. Neither he nor his representatives were immediately available for comment, and his current whereabouts are not known. Lawyer Richard Bondo hailed the result as a victory for the country.
We are satisfied because justice has been served. So, the justice rendered in the name of the Congolese people gives satisfaction to these people. Given that the defendant, Kabila, mastermind of all rebel movements, all insurgents, and all Rwandan aggression, he, as the mastermind, has just been sentenced to capital punishment.
Some residents of Congo's rebel-occupied eastern city of Bukavu did not share that sentiment. This resident pointed out that the trial had cost the public millions and questioned whether Kabila's conviction would truly bring an end to the conflict in eastern parts of the country. The verdict could fuel further divisions in the vast mineral-rich Central African nation, which has endured decades of conflict. M23 rebels now control much of North Kivu and South Kivu provinces. The fighting has killed thousands and displaced hundreds of thousands more this year. The two sides signed a US-brokered peace agreement in June, but Reuters sources say they are both reinforcing their positions and blaming one another for flouting the accord.
So, you've seen that Princip said they recruited Mike Tyson to go get him. Yeah, oh yeah, I saw Mike Tyson in the DRC. He said he did his DNA and he's from the Congo. Well, good luck to Mike Tyson. He is finally, with his people, in the Congo. We wish him, all the best over there. So now you've seen that he is sentenced, but there's a twist. There's a twist in this plot here. There's a twist here. So, Kenya, let us talk about Kenya. This is going to blow your mind. We'll come back to Kabila, but let's go to Kenya. So, Kenyan President Ruto, despite so it looks like there's going to be an all-out war in the Congo pretty soon. There's going to be an all-out war. So Kenyan president decided to do what he did with Haiti. He sent Kenyan forces to go fight in the Congo, just like just like they did in Haiti. So is Kenya now becoming like a mercenary state where there's fight, they go there? You know, South Africa, they went there too. Why are all these countries wanting to go to Congo? Is it because of the mineral resources? So everything is happening in Kenya. Now, let me show you Kenya's president doing a send-off for his people. This is the military, the Kenyan military. Just like they sent them to Haiti to go barbecue in Haiti, now he's sending them to the Congo. Here we go.
Kenya deployed troops to Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo on Wednesday, joining part of an East African regional force aiming to end decades of bloodshed. Kenya's President William Ruto saw off troops at a send-off ceremony in Nairobi.
As neighbors, with various interlinkages, the destiny of DRC is intertwined with ours. We all have a stake in a stable Democratic Republic of Congo, and its security is an obligation that we commit our best effort to achieve.
Ruto said that the United Nations and the African Union had given tacit backing to the Kenyan deployment. The 7 countries of the East African community agreed in...
Do you think these skinny Kenyans can pull it off over there? But we'll find out. I mean, these Kenyans think they over there in Haiti kicking the Haitians' ass. They're going to do the same in the Congo. Congo is a different ball game. Barbecue and his people, those are just gang members hiding. In the Congo, those people have been fighting in the jungle for a while. But let's see what, the Kenyans would do, in DRC. They better ask the South Africans.
April to set up a joint force to fight militia groups in Congo's east. Congo joined the group earlier this year. Despite billions of dollars spent on one of the United Nations' largest peacekeeping forces, more than 120 armed groups continue to operate across large swathes of East Congo. This includes the M23 rebels, which Congo has repeatedly accused Rwanda of supporting. Kigali denies the claims. Uganda has already sent troops into Congo as part of a separate deployment to chase down militants linked to Islamic State, which is one of the warring groups in eastern Congo. There has been uncertainty around Kenya's deployment. That's because Nairobi wanted international funding, which requires an official mandate from the UN Security Council or the African Union.
All right. So you guys seen that, right? So Kenya is saying these are their cousins, their neighbors. They're going to go there, to go do some peacekeeping like they're doing in Haiti. But there's a problem here. You guys remember I just showed you, the clip of the former president, Joseph Kabila, being sentenced to death in Congo. So you would think, for instance, okay, now I'm confused because doesn't that mean if he is sentenced by the government of Congo, shouldn't Kenya uphold that? I mean, I would think so, right? But just last week, guess where he was at? Anyways, let me show you where he was seen just not too long ago. Here we go. So Joseph Kabila is also plotting. He's planning on what he's doing. And you won't believe where he was a couple days ago, last week, to set up his meeting with other Congolese saying they want to go and liberate Congo. What does that mean? War is coming. But how is Ruto allowing this to take place in Kenya, in Nairobi, while he's saying he's sending peacekeepers in the Congo? So who whose side is Kenya going to be on? Shouldn't Kenya arrest Kabila since Kabila was sentenced by the government of Congo? But let me show you the clip, so that you see for yourself. I mean, it's getting dicey.
Joseph Kabila, the former president of the Democratic Republic of Congo, made his first public appearance on Wednesday after being sentenced to death in absentia on charges of treason and war crimes. During the event in Nairobi, Kenya, Kabila was seen alongside various Congolese political leaders who are in opposition to the current government. While in Nairobi, Kabila participated in a signing ceremony that established a new political movement uniting a dozen opposition leaders. They aim to connect with all Congolese citizens who oppose the current regime in Kinshasa with the goals of ending what they describe as a dictatorship, restoring state authority, re-establishing democracy, and promoting national reconciliation. The controversial ruling stems from allegations of Kabila's collaboration with rebel forces. The government has accused Kabila of working with Rwanda and the rebel group M23, which has recently seized control of significant cities in the conflict-ridden eastern region of Congo.
All right. So, are you guys seen that, right? So, Kabila, just as the news said, was seen. This is after the sentencing. After Ruto, met with his soldiers to do the ceremony for them to go and quote unquote go for peacekeeping in the DRC. And what is Kabila planning? Kabila met with, other Congolese opposition leaders. And what is the message that he's conveying? He's saying, hey, these people are dictators. We need to remove them. And to me, I don't know about you, but to me, it looks like Kabila is signing documents. He's ready to go to war. Why didn't Ruto arrest Kabila? That is my question. So the link is in the chat. If you guys, I wouldn't stay here too long, but if you want to join in the conversation and, if you think, Paul Biya, they should just let him go for, maybe 8 more years so he can even out his age to 100, that's welcome as well. And whatever you think about the Congo as well, feel free to, call in, and Madagascar as well, because I want to hear what you are thinking. Do you guys think Ruto, whose side is Ruto on? That's what I want to know. Whose side is Ruto on? All right, I have St. James in the house. St. James, welcome to the Afridamus Report.
Thanks for having me, Afridamus.
St. James, it looks like in French West Africa, not only West Africa, but French Africa, there's a lot of changes taking place there. All the way, let's say we start from Madagascar. Madagascar, they're like, hey, they did the coup. Now the colonel is sworn in as the president. And then we have Cameroon. Paul Biya is fighting for power, for his life right now, to hang on to power. And then we'll come to Congo. But what's your take on the coup in Madagascar and in relation to France?
For the one in Madagascar, to be honest with you, I have seen it, but I don't really exactly know who's the new president. And
you missed it. You missed
yeah, I missed that part. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's go to Cameroon then.
Yeah. For Cameroon, I believe there's still the result is still pending, right? I believe it's 2 weeks after the election.
But do you trust that? I mean, think about it.
No, I don't.
Paul Biya has been in power all this time.
Yes.
Imagine in the last election, he had 71% in a landslide. And you see Paul Biya, like he's walking like slow, he's not engaging with the people, and obviously people are saying he's not doing much, like he's not taking care of their needs. So how did he get 71%?
To be honest, he pulled the trick, and Paul Biya come from the the group of presidents in Africa that believe that you cannot organize an election and lose it. So based on that principle, he should have dropped out, right? If he's running, that means no matter what the outcome is, they're still gonna proclaim him the winner of the election. So there's one guy over there thinking he won, but I'm like, okay, you know what?
Yeah, he came out, he made the announcement, but okay, I get what he's doing, but Chiroma maybe because in Cameroon, I don't know, like they pulled off in America here in 2000, turned the election into 2 weeks,
right?
And then so the same thing. Because they've been doing it 2 weeks. That's how he gets 71%, 91%. Do you think he's looking for another 71% here
for Paul Biya?
Yes.
For 7, yeah, no, even 51% would be good for him, So,
no, but if you do 51, they might think they are closer. They might try to challenge you. But if you stretch it out, I think Paul Biya should use the percentage of his age, like 92%.
Yeah, that's an option too. But I do believe, regardless of what happens, he's going to win. And it's going to be sad. I'm going to be sad for the other guy.
Wait, you still truly believe he's going to win?
Man, Alphadamas, man. Paul Biya has been pulling this for decades, man. How many times have you seen him run for election and the opposition leader proclaim victory before the result? That's what always happen in Cameroon. They always claim they won and they try to get ahead of things and hoping that he will back down from pressure. But Paul Biya doesn't care. On his side, you don't see a lot of people talking. They're just waiting. Whether. But no.
No, you know what? You're right. His side, they're not saying anything.
No,
who do you even think is running France? Because Macron loves him so much. The French, the white, they love Paul Biya. Who do you think has been running Cameroon? Because I mean, it couldn't be Paul Biya.
No, I might think they have a similar situation like Gabon, whereby the wife is running and the kids. So that's what I believe is running Cameroon.
Oh, I read somewhere that in fact the plan is or was still is for what's his name? The son. The son to replace him.
Right. Yeah, a lot of Cameroonians are talking about that. He's being trained as we speak to, in case if the father die in power, he can just go ahead and they can pull the same trick they did in Togo, right? You remember when the father died? Yeah. He's already trained for that. But as long as the daughter lives, he remains in power. So that's the second option for them.
Supergirl said, Afridamus, why can't there be term limits in African countries? Well, they do have term limits. For example, look at Ivory Coast, right? Ivory Coast, they have chaos going on. The president is not supposed to run. He's, he's exceeded the term limit. So, they have term limits in, in Gambia, they don't have term limits. As long as you can win, you can keep running, right? Cameroon, do they have term limits?
They do. I think they do. Okay. But whenever you get close to the to the limit, Congress will get together and decide to extend it for the president, for the loving president. So because they love him so much in Cameroon, so they have to extend it for him to please him. But people are not putting up the. You see, my thing is, people are not putting up the resistance. I'm not saying fight.
They're out there in the streets.
I mean, Alphadamas, man. For 40 years, man, being out there in the street, man, don't mean anything. You can be there. Just, I mean, if you don't want the guy,
does Cameroon,
42 years,
does Cameroon have an army?
They do, but I don't think these are loyalists, man. What I heard is that The army is tribal. He put his people in there. You know, he has I think he has some Israelis in there too in the army that protects him.
He got Israelis.
Yes, that protects him. So the guy. So I don't know. After 42 years, you still don't know how to get rid of him. Yeah, I mean, like you said, man, if you don't know how to get rid of him, keep him.
Yeah, I mean,
he's 92 years old, so I mean, he's close to.
I'm kind of blown. Like, you are confident that he's going to win. I mean, that would.
Obama's, man, he's been pulling the same trick for decades. So if the guy was tired, if he was tired of time, I'm sorry.
Do you think they would accept it this time around?
If the election happened, right? Why they accept the results? You don't have a choice. If they didn't want him, they wouldn't have even let the election to happen. You know, if that happens, that means they have no choice. You know, so he's gonna come on top after Damas. I guarantee you. If it doesn't, then we're gonna have to celebrate that for the Cameroonian. But I guarantee you, he's gonna come on top. Trust me, he will.
All right. Now let's go to the DRC. You've seen Joseph Kabila, the former leader, was sentenced, to death in absentia. He was in there. So Tshisekedi wants this man's head on a plate. But as you can see clearly, Kabila doesn't look like he's shook by this. And and on top of that, you're seeing Ruto, Kenya, they're sending their soldiers, they say peacekeepers like South Africa to the Congo. But what is blowing my mind is, since they've already sentenced this man to death, and Kenya is saying they want to maintain peace, why is Kenya allowing Kabila to come to Nairobi to meet with his opposition leaders to cook up, the next big war? Because you heard the language that's been used. Do you think what Kabila is saying? Kabila is saying, "Oh yeah, we're gonna run for election." Oh, because they already want him dead, right?
Right.
So, what do you think Kabila means by, we gotta get rid of dictatorship?
I mean, Kabila, right? You talk about the son, right?
The son.
I believe, ever since he stepped down, he lived in Rwanda.
Well, in the Eastern Congo, Goma, between. So he's mostly in Rwanda.
Yeah, he does businesses there. He has businesses in Rwanda. So I mean, for us, right? If you are Congolese and you rule over Congo as a Congolese, and your country is against a neighboring country, right? And you have business dealing there, you live there 90% out of the time.
It makes sense.
That's why Tshisekedi.
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
Okay, are you? Is it possible? Who is those Tshisekedi have any allies in Africa, in that region? How? I think maybe South Africa was with him. I'm not sure, but it looks. Rwanda clearly is with Kabila.
Right.
Uganda. Mm-hmm. And Kenya. Whose side do you think Kenya is on? Because if this man is sentenced to death, from a real government that Kenya supposed to acknowledge, why aren't they arresting him and handing him over?
No, they cannot. After Damas, they cannot arrest Kabila, man.
He was in their country. He was
no,
there.
they're in the same team. That's what I put in the chat. They're part of the team that is looting the Congo. So Kenya knows about it. Kenya is backed by whoever you know who that is. Kenya has the backing of there. You know what I'm saying? So Kabila has always been the asset of the same. You know what I'm saying? So they can't arrest Kabila. Kabila is going to travel free from Rwanda to Uganda to Kenya. That death penalty is not going to do anything for him. You know, no one's going to arrest him. You think Museveni is going to arrest Kabila? You think this guy over there in Kenya is going to arrest Kabila?
Well, he already proved it. He was just in Nairobi.
Yeah. Kabila, so the way it's moving, you already know Kabila is a big asset. Being a big asset means what? The power that big makes sure no one touches him. So that's what's happening. You get to travel anywhere. So Congo, anybody.
It looks like he's the one in charge of
absolutely
Eastern
Congo. Congo cannot make friends in the neighboring region. It cannot, because why? Everybody that stepped in is going to try to get something for themselves.
So wait. So you're saying?
Yeah.
What I'm hearing. So technically, like Kabila, is like the rich kid in the neighborhood that everybody wants to be friends.
That makes sure because makes sure everybody's good.
Yeah, as long as he's there, everybody eats.
Thank you. That's it.
Wow.
That's it. Is the link between Kagame and the Western world.
Huh. Do you think is that why Tshisekedi wanted to pull a chess move by offering the resources of Congo to Trump so that America can find a way to step in and maybe bring in forces to say they are protecting their interests?
There is no interest to protect Africa. Everybody.
I know the US wouldn't do it, but you remember they were offering it.
Right. Yeah, they can offer it, but like I said, Afadamus, anybody that talks like that, just watch 5 years after, you will see every key player in the Congo is doing fine. You know, the villagers are going to get poorer, the situation is going to worsen, but you will see it's not going to change. That's what they got set up for Congo. Unless the Congolese themselves, they decide to protect their own country. The idea that someone coming from Kenya is going to secure the border.
So, St. James, you don't think the Kenyans are going to go there and you don't think they would barbecue them like they barbecue?
So who they going to fight? After that, who they going to fight? M23? Who they going to fight?
Yeah.
Are they going to fight M23? M23 represent Kabila. Who they going to represent Kabila? Who they going to fight?
Yeah.
The government?
That's a good question.
What peace are they keeping? Like sending troops? What peace? What sides are going to be on? There is no peace to be kept. These people don't want peace, man. There's a lot of resources that need to be looted. So what peace are they keeping?
So what do you think, Ruto? What do you think? All these people are secretly there for resources. Like what's is Congo being?
It's the game. It's like giving the idea to the international community that we are taking action to secure the Congo. But when you look at it on the inside, nothing is happening. It's the same tactics that you've been using for decades. They're going there, they pretend to be securing the border, securing the people and their belongings. But no, at the end of the day, business deals are still being conducted in the Congo 100%. And the people who are supposed to get rich are still getting richer. So nothing changes for the if you believe Congo. Oh my!
I think Kabila he's a billionaire, multi-billionaire.
So the people that put him there were the one that removed him, and they told him we're gonna keep you between the Congo and Rwanda to make sure we are still getting our resources. And he agreed.
That's where all the resources are, Eastern Congo.
Yeah, that's why he agreed, because he agreed, and he lived about like you said. I heard he lived in the Congo, but for the businesses, it is confirmed he has a lot of businesses in Rwanda, a lot. So that guy.
Tshisekedi would have to invade Rwanda,
bro. I don't know why, because I talk to Congolese, bro. The desire, I don't see the desire to even fight. I don't see the energy towards solving their own conflicts. That's why I'm like, okay, you know what? If you guys lose hope, why should we? Why should we
So
keep hope?
they're just gonna let little Rwanda.
Bro, Afadamus, talk to the Congolese in America, man. Ask them if they want to see any change in the Congo. They will walk away from you, or they don't even care. That's bottom line. They don't care for it. they feel like it's too messed up for them to go back to do anything, and that's the start part of it. I don't know. I hope
Right.
something happened for them.
Let's bring in Paulo. Paulo, welcome to the Afridamus Report. Paulo, are you there?
And shout out to the other guy.
Paulo, where are you calling
I'm from Angola, so we border Congo.
Oh, okay. Yes.
From Angola.
Yeah.
From Angola.
I want to hear your perspective on this. What's your take on what is happening in the Congo? Kabila have been sentenced to death, but doesn't seem like it's impacting him. And then we've seen Kenya sending troops there, but at the same time, we've seen Kabila coming to Nairobi, setting up his next move. What is the word in the region? Whose side is Angola on, and what is Angola's role as well?
Yeah, we have a big stake in Congo because we share the same border on the north, and historically, Angola has always been with Kabila, historically, and now with Kabila father, and Laurent Kabila, and we are now with Tshisekedi because we want our main interest is to keep the border stable. Because last thing we want is to see.
Wait, Angola is with Tshisekedi?
No, sorry. Yes, Angola is with Tshisekedi as the representative of the Congolese government and representative of Congo. Is it? Okay. So the problem for us is that I don't know if you guys follow it, but a few months ago, I think about a year ago, there was an attempt to find a common ground with the guy from Rwanda.
Kagame was that
Kagame with Kagame. Yeah, that was right before. That was at the time more or less when the Biden has been to Angola. I don't know if you guys remember. Biden was still president. But what we see is that it's very difficult to stop that problem in Congo because, like the other guy said, it's a lot of resources, it's a lot of interest. The Americans are in it. Kagame is with the Americans. Kenya,
Israel,
it's really a mess.
Kenya.
Yeah. So for us here in Angola, of course, we want to see a stable Congo,
Yeah.
But it's a bit complicated. I'm not seeing Congo being stable in the next 50 years, to be honest.
Because if you look at it, Kabila, what's the message that's been received in Angola about Kabila being sentenced to death?
Angola is very neutral. What we want, the line of our government, which is pretty much for the whole country, is whatever Congo wants to do to stabilize itself. We are on Congo's side. The internal problems of Congo, it's really they're too deep, to be involved or to take sides. Otherwise, it's going to be very difficult to be someone that they can trust. So we are pretty much neutral.
So what do you make of Kenya sending their troops there?
It's I would say it's well, they can do that, but it's not going to make any difference. It's just a political stunt, It's
because it looks like there's about to be war because Kabila is talking about Tshisekedi's government is a dictatorship, and he's meeting with other Congolese politicians in Nairobi to form their party. So since he's sentenced, he's not about to go back there, to take it over with peace, right?
Honestly, if he's fool enough to do that, I think it's just rhetoric, because the U.S., which is one of the main players over there, probably are not going to allow it. I mean, Trump U.S. because Trump is known for not liking wars, so he wants to get the Nobel Prize. So the problem we had recently with M23
Sekedi did
and
say he would nominate him. Yes,
there you
Sekedi
go.
did say that. He
There you
said
go.
if Trump
So
can, he said if Trump can end the war there,
yeah, there you go. So I think it's
Have
just
you have you seen that? In fact, the woman that brought the message to Trump is that Angolan reporter. Have you seen? Yeah, the female Angolan reporter. That's in the
I
White
remember.
House. Yeah.
Yeah. I saw that. But no, I doubt it. Kabila, who is going to finance him? Maybe
I mean,
Kagame, but that's the thing. For
the
now,
resources, the M20, they control vast parts of
yeah,
Goma, Eastern Congo, with lots of resources. So it's like,
I agree.
they have, I mean, I don't think the finances are a problem, because in Africa, for somebody, a former leader, to be like, let's say Kabila, who's sentenced and he's still very strong. I mean, I'm thinking resources are not the problem here. He has a lot. That's why he's still
The
powerful.
only reason, yeah, I agree with you. The only reason I might not see that coming, the war coming for now, is because of the U.S. Trump. I don't know if you saw that the problem that we had recently with M23, this recent war that we had, stopped immediately when Trump took power.
Right.
So for now, if it's not on the will of the U.S. to see war in Congo. So for now, I don't think nothing's going to happen. If a new
That's true, because Trump keeps talking about stopping the war in Congo. So you're
stopping
right.
the war, exactly. So no, I don't see that happening. I don't see that.
Thank you. Let's bring in Princip, Trump's grandson. Princip, welcome to the Afridamus Report.
What's up, Professor? How you doing, man?
Princip, how's your grandpa doing?
You're doing well, man. You're doing well. He's doing his thing, man.
All right, Princip, what is your take on this? We can start with Cameroon or did you see the Madagascar one?
Yeah,
I want to hear your take
one.
on all of it. What's your take?
Well, I kind of don't fully know the background of the soldier, but it's like a long time coming. A lot of I think the president over there is like closely aligned with France, man. I heard he got taken away in a French airplane.
Right.
So he's very closely aligned. I think he even took power in the coup himself.
Right.
The you know what I mean, and a lot of people saying that he didn't do what he claimed he was going to do. So.
Yeah, the people had to come out and protest. And I saw you in the chat rooting for Paul Biya. We want to hear your take.
No, I'm not rooting for him, man. I'm not rooting for him. But for the Madagascar, I was glad to see the masses of people. A lot of them still look very black. I was very proud to see that. But
you said
for the Cameroon, I was glad to see the masses of the people in Cameroon, in Madagascar. The TV don't only show you like the mixer or Indonesian looking kind of people, but the masses of people still very much, they may have
we just gonna go by what we saw, sir.
Okay, and for the Cameroon, I'm not saying that I support him, but I know how it is in the Black world period, or in the world period, but especially in the Black world where there's a lot of especially in countries like Haiti.
Speaking of Haiti, speaking of Haiti, did you see now Ruto, just like he sent Kenyans to Haiti to go barbecue, now they headed to Congo.
No, that happened before. That happened before they went to Haiti. There was a East African EAC coalition that said that they was going to send troops. I think Uganda sent troops.
This is new.
Troops. This is new again. Okay, but they was kicked out previously because they said that they were sided with Rwanda. So why would they send them back again? I don't know what's going on with that one. Last time they went, Tshisekedi accused them of being too closely related and aligned with people in Rwanda, so he kicked them out.
But you don't think he would kick them out again because Kabila is over there kicking it in Nairobi.
But it's very confusing because even he said the same thing about Uganda, and then he invite Uganda back. So I don't really know what kind of chess game he's playing, Tshisekedi, because he said the same thing about Uganda. He said Uganda was closely aligned, and the next thing you know, Museveni's son was in eastern Uganda, and eastern Congo. So it's very his notion and alliances swing back and forth. The only thing consistent is that he accused Rwanda of something. But even recently, in French, he was talking about, he wanted the apology and reconciliation. And so I don't know. He sends like mixed messages to Tshisekedi. You know what I mean? So I don't know about that one. But what I was saying about Cameroon is that like a lot of black nations, there's always like 100 people. Even in the black community in America, there's like 100 people always declaring themselves the leader and this and the third, and they refuse to align themselves with one another. So sometimes there's a natural, unique leader that unifies all these entities, and I think that's Paul Biya.
Okay, so you believe that like Paul Biya is the unifying force in Cameroon?
Yeah, as a figure, I feel like he is incapable of actually leading anymore. But they don't want to remove him because they know if they remove him now, all these different players is going to declare themselves the new leader and it's going to create a new conflict. That's what I think.
Huh. So
you know what I mean?
So are you saying that you believe he's going to emerge as the winner?
I think he's going to lose, but I think that it's going to create way more conflict because he's been there for 40 years. Right, so the parliament is half of these people is going to be loyal to him, right? And then those who aren't, they're going to fight whoever's the new guy. So it's going to create a new conflict. You see what I'm saying? Because I feel like he's been in power for so long that his imprint is low key the nation. Even I don't really think he has been really running the nation in over 20 years. I think he's really been sick and in and out of the hospitals. He's aging and stuff like that. So I really think it's like somebody in the shadows who's really running it. Whether it's his family or some trusted guy that was, his understudy or whatever, they actually run the country. I don't think he's running the country, but I think they keep him there. They keep having him run because they know whoever is like kind of trying to strong arm to get power after him, they're more aligned to follow behind him. It's like the alpha dog in the pack. The alpha dog in the pack leads the pack, and if he loses the power, there's going to be a new power grab, and all these different people are going to fight for the power. So they just keep them there to make sure everybody fall in line.
Cameroon's best bet, if they have like a Gabon situation, like a strong military guy.
The coup, okay.
Yeah, strong military guy comes.
But some people say,
and then the guy ran for election and won like what, 92%.
Oh, true. But some people say that he's related to the aubergine.
See. Paul Biya is the one that's supposed to get that 92%. Paulo, what do you think about Gabon's and Senje? What do you guys think about that 92%?
Yeah, that will settle the scores.
Yeah,
that will settle the scores.
His own daughter said no, don't vote for him though. You didn't see that in the news?
Who? Paul Biya's daughter?
Paul Biya's daughter. Yeah, she said don't vote for him.
So she need to keep her mouth shut.
No, she doesn't live in Cameroon, so that's why she does that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she lives overseas, and she's LGBTQ.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
I think she's not. You got that one child that you keep in the family, but she's not in the family.
Yeah.
She's like
the
that.
Black sheep, they call it.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, that's crazy. But yeah, I don't want to go too long, but enjoyed the show. And I want to hear you guys' last statements before we close out.
Can I go first?
Yeah, go ahead, Princip. And Princip, I've been seeing you going in the chat, attacking the professor. You are going to get an F- this quarter.
You're drinking too much of that Trump vodka, man. I see you drinking that Trump vodka, man. On the last show, you're going crazy, man.
What did I say that's crazy?
You drinking that Trump? You didn't. I don't think you drunk tonight, huh?
What?
Did you drink the Trump vodka tonight?
The Trump vodka? I didn't know that
Yeah,
Trump had
yeah,
a
yeah.
vodka.
Yeah, I've been seeing you drink the Trump vodka. You're going off last show, man.
Oh, you didn't. So when you don't like what I say, it means I'm drinking Trump vodka.
Yeah, man.
So the Trump vodka makes me go crazy.
It made me go crazy, man. But yeah, I'm gonna close out the show. On my part at least. I think overall, like, I think Cameroon, they probably need new leadership, but it's going to be very controversial. Uh, uh, Madagascar is a good change of pace, but again, he has to find commitment, and I think they should try to tie themselves to the EAC or something like that to grow, to boost trade or whatever. Uh, Cote d'Ivoire is very controversial there, man. Because I know the election is this weekend, and in Cote d'Ivoire,
We'll be doing a show on that too.
yeah, you should have touched on. I forgot. I wanted you to touch on Sudan because it kind of connects. Because
Oh,
Ruto
yes,
also had
yes.
he had a meeting with one of the rebel forces in Kenya as well. So he also picked a side in that fight as well. I don't know if
Man,
he's trying to make peace or
Ruto is everywhere.
yeah, he's everywhere, man. I think he's the president of Africa, man. I think that's where he is in his mind, you know. But I think in Cote d'Ivoire, I think he disqualified a whole bunch of people, so I don't even really know who's running, and it's going to probably lead to some type of issue there as well. And that's my base. And in DRC, I think the solution should be some kind of coalition of different governments working together to bring peace in Eastern Congo, because that region, like even when we talk about Eastern Congo, some of those people are not as related to the people like Chesekedi in the Western side. So there's also a regional issue. There's resources issues, the influence and say issue. There's a bunch of different. Then there's also resources. Then there's global trade and all that type of stuff. So I think it has to be multifaceted, multi-region, and I think the African Union needs to bring those guys together. And they have to actually try to make peace and allow for those different regions to actually get a decent share of the money that's coming out from that region, rather than the same as DRC. You know what I mean? But I think that's the true solution.
Sounds good,
they're not
but
gonna
it wouldn't happen.
a lot of egos, a lot of money, man, on the table.
Sorry, Prince. Just to tell you just a little thing. I think for the DRC, the only problem, ideally, is that the key for the DRC is the United States. If the Americans want war in Congo, there's going to be war in Congo. Doesn't matter what the other nations around, even Angola or Uganda or whoever. It doesn't matter. It all the key is with the U.S. Depending on the administration.
But
That's the
see,
key for Congo.
Paulo, like your country, Angola. I
Yeah.
mean, you guys have experienced, wars in the past, long one, and you've settled it. You're back. Like, I mean, how come Angola is not, like involved to try to bring, because you guys are familiar with from war to peace,
Yeah. We are involved. Yeah, we are involved. If you remember, we have a hidden problem with Rwanda. Why? I don't know if you remember. It was about 20 years ago with Kabila father.
Right.
We intervened to save the Kabila's government. There was a penetration, I think, from some rebels coming from the Rwandan side, and we had to intervene in Congo exactly to protect our border. So we can do that, but our main, like I said, our main aim is to resolve things amongst us Africans in a balanced way. The problem is certain parts have their own interests. Rwanda is with the US. Some other countries close to Rwanda, they have other interests, and the US is sucking all the wealth from Congo. So the key is the US.
To be honest though, like the US is playing a dirty game because the US, because she's a Keddy, technically he is at war with Rwanda. He don't like Rwanda.
Okay. Yeah.
So, but the U.S. is fully with Rwanda. So I don't know how that, and Tshisekedi is offering his resources to the United States. So I don't know how that's gonna work because Rwanda needs those resources too.
Yeah, that's the complicated situation in Congo, because Rwanda wants to get the Congo's wealth. They're doing that with the help of the Americans. Yeah, for now. Yeah.
You don't think it's more of the EU than America? That's why Tshisekedi played a chess move by getting the Americas to check the EU. You don't think that's what's going on?
Well, the EU
No,
is also
I think it's
involved.
America because
Yeah.
Princip, look at who they offered it to. That's how what you gotta look at. Look at who
what you mean, Professor? What do you mean?
Well, Congo invited. They wanted, America to come in for them to, walk, to take care of the resources.
Exactly.
Yeah, because because the EU, like France, Germany, they're very closely aligned with Rwanda. Like even I think Tshisekedi had a speech where he was talking about, because you're right, there was a big meeting with your president from Angola right before those guys met in was it Saudi Arabia or Qatar somewhere?
Yeah.
There was a meeting that was organized by his president to bring peace among them, and I think President of Rwanda snubbed it.
Oh, you know what,
And,
Princip, you're right.
That's it.
Princip, you're right. You just refreshed my memory. Yeah, because with the meeting with the Europeans, Tshisekedi was the only one they invited. You're right.
Yeah, so the EU is very closely, like, even when you look at the teams that play in Rwanda, the contracts with the jerseys on the back of it, they're for the EU. The Rwanda is very closely aligned with England, Germany.
But then why
stuff like
is
that.
Tshisekedi, is he playing a dangerous game here? Like, what's going on?
He's playing chess because he knows America low-key
it's a
has a
chess.
stronger hand than the EU. So he's trying to play the one European against the other European, similar to what Haiti did during the revolution, which is very smart,
But Princip, just to tell you, the EU has their own interest in Congo, but don't forget that the EU works with the Americans. So whichever interest the Americans have, the EU will be parallel. So in the end, they're all eating the resources. It doesn't matter, who has more. Yeah.
But Polo, St. James is here. He's from Burkina Faso. When they had the coup, there were certain nations that tried to create a bloc against Burkina Faso, and then there were certain nations that was trying to continue trade and policies with Burkina Faso. That means that they all not necessarily aligned on everything.
Yes.
And some of them said, okay, as long as I get the resources, we can get it for Europe. You see what I'm saying?
See, Congo is different. Polo, would you say the Congolese is sort of like what was happening in Angola, like because they have Savimbi, he controlled like one side, and he was able to even trade with America. Remember that?
Yeah. Savimbi was financed by the Americans since the 1970s.
Yeah.
So
it was similar thing. Like, it's like literally they are allowing two players, two presidents. Because Savimbi was not in charge. He was just a rebel leader, but he was able to trade the resources.
So like I said, it all boils down to the Americans. The solution for the Congolese problem is the Americans. Just to give you a fun fact, the uranium that was used in the Hiroshima nuclear bombs, came originally from Congo. So Congo is really a key piece in almost every resource to the global economy. It's Congo. So the Americans, for sure, they have a big stake there. And the confusion that they have in Congo stems from all that, and I don't know how the Congolese are going, because the Congolese themselves, they're not organized, That's another problem. So it's very difficult for them to control the territory if they themselves are not organized. Yeah, it's huge.
They got a huge territory.
Yeah. So the army is not well organized. That's why they needed support from Angola militarily in recent years. So it's very difficult for Congo to sort
Yeah, they
itself.
need to send those Haitians over there. that's what they need to be doing, bro. Since they like to shoot at people, send them over there.
Alpha how about send the Asians over there, right?
Huh?
How about sending the Asians over there? Whatever they get, they take it back to Haiti to build their country. That would be the best outlook for them, right?
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, but
Yeah.
America wouldn't let Haiti
Right.
get those back. That's for sure.
No, but can I touch on what something Paul said? Previous to Trump, a lot of weapons were not being allowed to, for even in the lesser grade weapon from the American form, was not being allowed to be traded to a lot of African nations. So Trump, under his regime at least, he has allowed a lot of African nations to buy weapons and helicopters and all that. Even in Haiti, like the criminals were allowed to get certain guns illegally from the legal trade that the police weren't even able to get. Currently, Trump is allowing them to get that.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
That's true.
One thing, Mr. Trump, yes, he is allowing them to buy weapons if they got the money. That's true.
He also support the return of the Haitian army and stuff like
But
that.
he wouldn't let Burkina Faso buy no weapons.
Really?
Yeah.
Really, I didn't hear
that. Yeah, I doubt it. I doubt that would let that he would let Burkina Faso buy weapons. I doubt it. Yeah.
No, we don't need any more. We got what we need. That's fine. You can keep it. You can keep it.
You from Burkina Faso?
Yeah.
Okay. That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I got after that, but don't forget, right? Kisegedi, right?
Yeah.
It was true.
Hold on, Principe, you finish your closing statement, right?
Yes, sir. God bless you.
All right.
James, God bless.
Bless
Polo.
Okay.
Professor,
Yeah,
God bless.
Right.
Thanks.
Okay. These people had a meeting. I think they had a meeting. Kisegedi, I believe Kagame and the Kabila. They had a meeting prior to the election. That brought Kisegedi into power. He was not the most popular guy in the Congo. He was not the most powerful. He wasn't even ready. I don't even know how they got him there. It was through a deal that got Kisegedi there. Kisegedi was put there to make sure every side eats. So I don't know if he had a change of heart, and then I don't know what happened in there, but he was supposed to be there to make sure the deal they set up for.
Wait. So do you think Kisegedi?
Yeah.
They put him there.
Yeah.
As a puppet. Everyone's supposed to eat, but what they expect him, because the way he sounds like he truly cares about Congo.
He cares, but Afrodamus, the same people that put you there, right?
Right.
The guy wasn't supposed to be a president. So at least if you had a converse, if you had to sit down with all these people, the power that be got you there. So you should know by now they gave you a mandate to be quiet and let all the side eat, and pretend to be a good leader, smile, cry, and pretend to love your people. But at the same time, the looting ain't gonna stop. A president who says one day he said,
James, not everyone can take that though. Like,
I know that's what I'm saying. He has a change of heart. He has a change of heart.
Yeah, the guy probably he knows who the players, they talk to him. Yeah. So he's thinking like, man, F this. Yeah. This is our country. This is our stuff. Like, why should I allow this?
Kisegedi know exactly what was happening. He knew there was a lot of powerful country behind the looting of his country. He was made aware his father was a opposition leader to Mobutu. So he knows exactly what's going on. So he pretend not to know, but he knows. And on top of that, Alpha one day, if you remember, he said from Kinshasa, they can strike Rwanda, Kigali.
Yes, I heard him say that.
Okay, so that means he has the power. If he says that, that means he can take down Rwanda. So why is not doing it? Why they don't go toe to toes? I mean, why they don't do it? So something is not right. A president who can speak publicly like this,
sorry, St. James.
Yeah, sure.
Sorry, St. James. Just to I don't honestly. I'll be honest with you. I don't think Congo, militarily, has the ability to now at this moment doesn't have the ability to defeat Rwanda. Rwanda is indeed a small, a minuscule country in that region, but they have an army very well organized, almost American army. So I don't think Congo at the moment has the
Of how many people, how many soldiers do they have? Technically, they have. What's the size of the country?
Well, Rwanda is really like
St. James. Look at Israel. They are small, but Rwanda is way more organized and probably
through the chaos, through the chaos, yes, Rwanda can stand to them. But I mean, if they get some, some good training, get the good soldiers, get them prepared, get them ready within a year, bro. 6 months, a year, they can go.
Well, I heard that. In Congo.
But bro, trust me, it's not about being well prepared war, right? I know a lot of Rwandans they're not gonna want to die, bro. I'm telling you, it's
brother Jay.
If you have the manpower, if Rwanda is like Rwanda, Congo is like there's a lot of people over there in Congo.
Yeah, but the Congolese,
if they can raise the army of 500 people, 500,000 people. Rwanda ain't gonna do it.
But I heard their soldiers are running away in the battlefront.
Yes,
because they're not well equipped. They're not well equipped. They're underpaid. Not well equipped. That's what was happening in Burkina. It's not because we didn't have the people to fight. If you are underpaid and not equipped, the soldier they not want to die.
Yeah,
they want to go back to their family. They're not gonna kill them. They're not gonna let themselves get killed just for you. So you're gonna start paying your soldiers. Make sure they are well equipped, and you will see things are gonna change. Yeah,
my brother. Let me. We Angolans, we know the Congolese. We have loads of Congolese in Angola. We know the Congolese character. The Congolese, the average Congolese guy is a guy who likes to do business.
Yeah,
progress in life. It's not. Party. They're not warriors. So
no.
If for example, I tell you that Angola has had to intervene a few times in Congo in the recent years, in the last 20 years or so, it's because they never had, that kind of preparation. It's not that they don't have the money. Yeah, they had, but it's not in their spirit, So that's why even Rwanda is doing what they're doing in Congo, because the Congolese themselves, they simply, they don't like war. They don't like war.
I get your point.
Yeah. And to train an army, it takes minimum a mature army, minimum 10 to 15 years. We had war in Angola, for 40 years, pretty much. And after that period, you will have a mature army. But in 6 months, forget it. 1 year, forget it. No way.
No, I know. I'm 6 months to a year. I'm talking about trying to, crawl back your land that you lost to the other side.
But Congo has been fighting for ages. I don't know how they are not battling.
They're not fighting, man. They're going after small thieves and people who are looting here. they're not really fighting. Fight is a little different story. Everybody, like I said, Tshisekedi was put in there to make sure everybody's right. Now he wants to change the rules of the games, and I don't even know how he's going to make that happen, because your neighbors are now with you, and anybody Tshisekedi try to put in there, going to turn their backs against them, because the country is so rich, right? And the amount of money they're willing to give the allies, somebody else going to double that. You see what I'm saying? That's what was happening to if you remember Mobutu. When his father, Kabila's father, did the same thing with Museveni and those Kabilas.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying? So, when they went in there, they won, right? Kabila father wanted them to leave, and they said, no, we can't leave here. So we find something that is so helpful to our country, so we're going to just remain here. I can show you a video where Museveni himself when Kabila's father had a meeting with him, he was speaking in French. I can understand. He told him directly. He said, "Nah, man, that was not part of the deal." So all these people talking about this Tutsi that lived in the no. Kabila himself, the father, he was telling them, having a meeting with Kagame and Museveni, telling them, man, he's tired of the looting. He wants them to leave. That was not part of the agreement. And these people just turned their back on him. Next month, and a few months later, he got shot him. That was, he knew the deal. Like I said, when your country is at war, be careful about the people that will side with you. They will come in, they will pretend to help you. When the war is over, they will split your country and tell you they won't leave. What you gonna do?
Yeah.
That's why I want the Congolese themselves to, if they love their country, they have to go figure that out. If they have great allies, they might use them, but 95% of the work has to come from the Congolese themselves. They have the human capital, they have the resources, they can leverage to get some weapons. So no one should be fighting for them. They should be the one doing it. Whether it take 10 or 20 years, they have to begin now. Or they're not going to have a country. I have affidavits. I have people that told me Congo will not be peaceful during our lifetime. And I believe it. I'm tending to believe it.
Yeah,
it's not going to be peaceful. Because the power that be the key players in that regions are too powerful. They're not going to let it go. Even he tried Russia. He tried Russia. I don't know why it's still not working for him.
It's simple because the US are stronger.
Yeah. Yeah. So
thank you guys.
I appreciate it. But do a show for Ivory Coast, man. It's gonna bubble this weekend, bro. I'm telling you.
I'll be keeping my eye on it. And Paulo, thank you for coming as well.
All right, man. Thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah.
Enjoy.
Bye.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's bringing us towards the end of the show. Those of you that are coming later to watch, feel free to participate in the conversation in the comment section. But you guys heard it. This is what is going on in Africa right now, in the Congo, Cameroon, Madagascar, several other countries. We couldn't cover everything in just one sitting, but it would keep coming slowly but surely. And we heard different perspectives. It's not like one size fits all. So all we can do is, hope that Congo would pull themselves by the bootstrap, and the Cameroonians would probably end up, standing to Paul Biya if that's what they want to do. So I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.
Lend thy ears to the Afridamers. Pay attention to the Afridamers. The true Soninke warrior. Naturalist his intelligence. As a true professor. Solution to brainwash diseases. Sit back, relax, and hear the wisdom. Afridamers will heal your minds. Sit back, reflect, you'll find no objection. Afridamers will clear your doubts here. Always log on to the Afridamers. Lend thy ears to the Afridamers is the truth and no doubt.